Welcome to Kids Art with Lucca, the place where kids can find art projects that are fun and easy. Today's project is going to be a big bear. First, we'll make a black bear, and then we'll try our hand at polar bear. So the materials we're using today are charcoal and white chalk. Charcoal is a kind of chalk, but it's made out of ash. And hairspray to set it once we've done it, because it's really dangerous. It brushes off on things. So you're going to need hairspray or something to set it so that it won't spread. All right, and then you need paper. We're going to use a big piece of paper because the bears are big. First, the white paper for the dark bear and some kind of dark paper so that the polar bear will show up, the white chalk will show up on it. Okay, those are our materials and we're ready to start our project. We're going to put our bear right on here. And I will tell you, I came eye to eye with a bear in Colorado. He was big. So we're going to make him as big as we can, fill up the paper. So take a piece of your charcoal first and think, when I draw something, I think the animal or I think the object. And it really helps you draw. Don't try to think about what it's going to look like. Think bear. And when you do, then you're going to easily visualize where that big bear is. So say that bear is sitting right here. Remember, he's nice and big. And I think his feet are going to come out here because they usually have big feet. I'm going to put a few claws in there. Oh, I forgot to tell you. When you draw with charcoal, you don't draw like you do with a crayon. So you don't use the point like that. You lay it sideways and you pull it along. And it makes a wonderful, wonderful, sweeping mass of color. Okay, so there's my bear. What happened? Oh, he needs a head. Okay, so I'm going to put his head right here and let just happen what happens. I think he needs an ear or two. Or he looks more like a lion at this point, doesn't he? Well, that's all right. Now you can take your hand and rub it in. And bears kind of have pointy noses, so I'm going to give him one. Now I'm going to use it like a crayon and put one dark nose on there, all right? And his eyes, bears have tiny little eyes, so he's going to have a little beady eye right here. And if you can't figure out where the eye goes, look at it and think if he was looking at you or he was looking sideways, where would you see his eye? Now, I think his face is a little bit too thin, so I'm going to give him a little bit more fur out that way. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. Now I'm going to rub in the rest of it like this. And if you rub off the edge, it'll look kind of like he's hairy. Furry. Because he's not exactly smooth. He's pretty much furry all over, isn't he? Okay, and they're fairly fat, so I'm dragging this out so he looks fatter. Yeah. Okay, there's my sitting bear. And I think I'm going to give him a little more mass back here so he has a rump to sit on. Yeah. All right. And bears kind of have a neck that's heavy. Their head sits down when they're on their neck. All right, there's my bear. I'm happy with him. How did you do with yours? I'd love to see what you did. If you'd like to share your project, use the hashtag with Lucca. And when I'm finished with him, I'm going to take the hairspray. You might ask an adult to do this part for you. But when he's done, you need to take the hairspray and spray over him. See, it's scooting some of the charcoal out of the way. About like that, so that it sets it and it won't come off on your clothes or on the house or on your furniture where you don't want it to be. All right, so there's my bear. And I'm going to move him out of the way and work on my polar bear. Now take your darker piece of paper and your white chalk, and we're ready to try our polar bear. Polar bears, usually I think of them as walking, so I'm going to try this time to make a walking bear. And I'm going to draw him so you can see him. Remember, he has big shoulders And his tail end sort of goes lower. And polar bears have big, heavy, thick feet. So I'm going to make sure I turn the chalk sideways and make his foot flat like that. So it looks like a big bear foot. I think I need to make him bigger. I think I do. I'm going to make mine bigger. He's going to have another foot back here. And I'm going to darken where his leg comes up. I'm going to make him a little darker so he'll look as if he's all furry and hairy. Smear it in. Now his head. Polar bears have longer noses than regular bears. They kind of droop down when they walk. I've noticed that. And their ears are tiny, but I'm going to darken his ear here so you can see he has an ear. In fact, they kind of remind me how wolves hang their heads down. His ear is small, so I think I made that one a little too big. Now he has a big hump on his shoulders where he walks, when he walks. Okay, I think I'm happy with mine. I hope you like yours. A little more white right there. Okay, so there's a lot of extra chalk here, and I want to dump that off before I spray it with the hairspray. Now I'm going to add the eye with the dark charcoal we used for the other bear before I spray it. I'm trying to think exactly where his eye. I think his eye would be about here. Yeah, and maybe his mouth would show a little black line where it's open. Kind of looks like he's smiling. I'm not sure I'd want him smiling. Better smiling than growling at me though. Alright, now I'm going to take the hairspray, and you would ask someone in your household who's older than you are to maybe help you with this part, and spray it so that you don't lose that chalk. There's our polar bear. I'd love to see what you did. If you'd like to share your project, use the hashtag #WithLucca.